Today we got a 2017 Chevy Cruze, and we're going to take off the front and rear door panels. I've kind of taken some stuff apart, but I'll bring you in and show you. There's a cover right here that needs to come off. You could just take a little small screwdriver from the top and just kind of pry on it. You just kind of want to get in there and just kind of pry it down, and it pops right off. And the cover looks like that. So you want to pry it from the top or from the little side right here. It has these two little legs, you don't want to break those. And then there's a little 7mm bolt that you want to take off up in there. And then down here, on the lower part of the door, there's also a 7mm bolt, same size, that you want to take those off. So I've already taken those two off, but the next step is going to be, we need to take this trim off right here. And there's a couple of bolts in there, so I'll bring you in and I'll show you how to do that. That's actually the hardest part to do out of the whole panel, besides taking it off. So we'll go ahead and zoom you in, and then we'll go ahead and remove that behind here, and then use like a plastic tool or something just to pop it forward and work your way all the way to the front, so you're just kind of pulling on it. Show you. So if you could try to start from the front, I mean, I started from the back, but I didn't pull here because I know it has a leg in there, so I just kind of got it so I could just get in here to pop all this off, and then you pull this out, and then you can just slide it out. So when you put it back in, we're going to go ahead and slide that in and then snap it back into place. So now on a bolt in here and a bolt in there, they're both 7mm bolts. Now you will need like a magnet in order to grab the bolts, because they're kind of a little bit far in there. It is kind of inset in there. So then now we want to do is you want to try to grab a corner, either use a wedge or a door panel removable tool, and then just start working our way across the bottom and then across the sides and kind of unclipping the whole panel, just like any other car. So once we got all the clips pretty much released, then now what we're going to do on this is we're going to try to pull on the top towards us a little like this on both sides and just kind of work our way. What we're trying to do is we want to try to slide on one side so that that panel is released there. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Once we got it released, then we're going to go ahead and release the little mechanism for the door latch. Release the door panel. What we want to do is we want to release this mechanism by pushing down on this, pulling on the cable, and then taking it out of the little socket that's right there. There's one up here, and then there's one down here. Those need to be removed. So what I would like to do is just take my little door panel tool and get under the clip. There we go. So we got that clip off. Remove the harness for the window switch, and it has a little push thing right here. Kind of hard. Push down and then pull really hard. This top harness actually came out when I pulled on it. Actually has a release tab on the top, which is really hard to get to when you're in here. Tiny spot. the top harness has a little tiny spot, like right here. You need like almost like a pick to push on it and then pull the harness out, okay? I did want to show you was this channel here. This channel has to come off. These clips have to come off and they're going to be put back on the door, so that when we put the door on, we can just snap it back into place. We don't have to try to slide it back on, because it might be a little difficult to do that because you have these guides right here on the sides that kind of hit. They won't let you get it in. When you're taking it off, it might be a little bit easier because you're pulling it on them, getting it up. And when you're trying to put it back on and pull on it, it's going to be real difficult to do. So what I like to do on these is just slide the, what you're going to do is you're going to slide this channel out. Slides that out. It's got a little felt, so the felt goes away from you. Okay. And then you're going to have these clips right here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 of them on the front door. And then just kind of get underneath that clip part right there. There's a little lip on the clip. I like to get under there, and then I like to kind of pull towards myself and lift up the clip at the same time. Let's see if I can show you what I'm talking about. Oops. Show what I'm talking about. So I'm kind of getting underneath that clip right there, and I'm pulling towards it and pulling really hard to pop it out. That's probably the hardest part. One of the hardest parts to do on this deal is you want to get these off. I don't know why Chevy did them like this, but they did, and it's no fun having to take these off, because if not, it would be so much easier not to have to deal with this. Now, all that you're hearing is not breaking anything, it just sounds really ugly when you're taking them off. And just be real careful you don't cut yourself, because it's a little bit sharp. So I'm going to remove all those. There's another one. And then the last one is right here. I got lucky on the other side. The front one stayed on the actual, on the body, and I didn't have to remove it, so it was on there. And then I'll show you what we need to do with this. Okay, so when we're ready to reinstall the door panel, what we want to do is we're going to want to put these clips back on. Now on these clips, if you look at them, there's a little pointy side, then there's like a spot. This real, the channel that you see in there, the big channel, that's where the rubber piece would sit. And then this little thin sliver piece right here is what's going to slide on the actual metal. So we're going to get this little piece, we're just going to put it right there. And then if you look on each one of these, there's like an opening. So there's one right there, there's one right there, and then you keep, every couple inches there's one. So we'll go ahead and we can put these back on there. Slide that back on there. And then what we're going to do is, when we go to put the channel back on, there's a felt side on here. It's got 2 pieces of felt. That's going to fit. So when we go to put this channel back in, the felt side goes to the glass side, okay? It goes away from you. So then when we go to put this in, you have these little corners right here. That's got to go into the frame over there. So in this case, it would go in like this, and go like that, and then it'll slide in there in these little spots here. Now, you might have to bend it up a little bit to get it in this other corner over here. Once you get it in, then it just kind of sits down like that, and then the panel would go back on, and then you just put on your screws back and make sure you connect this back up. We're in the back door, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go ahead and remove this little cover here. And then there's actually inside the little handle right where you pull on, there's also another little cover that we need to take, pop up, and then just kind of move over. It doesn't come off. And then there's another 7mm bolt there. And then I believe there's one more bolt under here, and there might be another one in here. So we're going to go ahead and bring you in, and then we'll go ahead and do that. I don't know why I like to come into the side. If you try to go from the top, it just doesn't seem to pop off as easy. You get it in this little top corner, it just pops right off real easy. Take out the 7mm bolt. Here's the little cover that we need to pop open. And you just push it over to the side. You don't take it off. Take off that bolt. And my little magnet. And next, we want to pull off this cover. So we want to start from the front and then just pull up. It comes out, and then it just has a little release tab right here. You just push down on, and then it comes off. And then right inside here, there's another 7mm bolt. So we're going to take that off. Take your magnet, get that out. And then right down here, there's one more 7mm on the bottom. Same thing. And then there's one more right inside of here. I forgot about that one. I think you might need a light in order to see it. You're definitely going to need a magnet to get to that one. Now putting this one in might be a little tough. I'll show you a little trick. Now what I like to do is I like to take the tip of my socket. I put the screw on there, and then I wrap a little piece of tape on it, but don't wrap it all the way around. Just enough to hold it. Kind of like that. Put it in like that. You'll screw it in. It'll screw off, and it'll leave the tape on here, and you can just pull this out. There's a little tip for you. Okay, so the next step would be to remove the actual panel. I think we got all the bolts out of there. So, start from the front. Try to get your wedges in there if you can. It's a little bit difficult on this one. But just to get your hands in there. Just pull towards you. Now this one is a little bit easier to remove than the front one was. You just start to do the same thing, kind of pull on the panel here a little bit. And then just kind of push it up. And then slide the panel off. And it's going to be the same thing. We're gonna release the back end of the latch. You release this cable, so you want to push down on here. And then pull, get it out, and then take it off. And then same thing, put it back in. Just put that in there, pull the cable through. So the cable went in, and then we just lock it back into place. And that pretty much does it for removing the panel. And just go in reverse order. Make sure you obviously you route this through. You put this back on. So the little foam spacer actually stayed on there. So So, I mean, you could put it on the actual part, and then once it goes on there, it's going to stay there. So it's no big deal. If you have any questions, hit me up. Thanks for watching.